Hi, this is Terry Cozard with Strata Identity. Wanted to walk you through a demonstration that we often give on how we can make CyberArk Identity even better and more powerful for your customers, specifically those that are moving away from Siteminder, Oracle Access Manager, or IBM's ISAM. So here we've got a picture representing a common Siteminder integration pattern, but it's the same pattern for all three of those platforms, where we have a policy server, the SSO server, that determines who can get access to what. There's an agent running on the web server, typically IIS or Apache, and then there's an application that is dependent upon that infrastructure to decide who gets access to where. So in order to replace that and take full advantage of CyberArk Identity, we'll deploy an orchestrator. You can deploy as many or as few as you need or want. And that part is done in seconds. There's no database, no directory. It's incredibly light. The full installation takes roughly 8 seconds, depending on how quickly you can type. We then replicate the policy that Siteminder has. We have ways to do that at scale. We have ways to do that just one on, one off. Very easy to do, just looking at the different policy servers and then replicating it on our side. Step 3 is we'll actually start migrating the application away from Siteminder in this case. The migration doesn't have to be a re-platforming of the web app, not at all. Really what you're doing in step 3 is turning off that SSO agent so it no longer knows about Siteminder. And then step 4. The identity fabric that's created through our orchestrator integrates with CyberArk Identity. That takes a couple of minutes to do that. And then we also define which users can get there under which conditions. Then the last thing that happens is that after you authenticate using CyberArk Identity, you then have the ability to translate and transform all of the claims that we got back from CyberArk Identity. You may or may not want to enrich that with additional data somewhere else. That's all very easy to do as well. And then we then pass in the SSO token in the way that the application knows. In this pattern, the application most of the time doesn't even know Siteminder's gone. It's just not there anymore. And then in step 7, we can do future leading things that if they want to take advantage of some future acquisition that CyberArk has that they want to take full advantage of in the ecosystem, they can do that without rewriting the application again. So let's show this live in action. So here I've got a browser that's trying to get to an application that used to be protected by Siteminder. But what's going to happen when I get into this application, the orchestrator, which is sitting in the middle, is saying, look, we're going to round you out to CyberArk. So here we log in, as you almost always would. And here we get access to the application. Not terribly exciting, other than the fact that this application doesn't know OIDC, which is the way that I integrated with CyberArk Identity. It only expects what's called headers. And so we transform those headers that we got in from that into ones that the application knows how to digest. Things like the SM user, which is the pattern Siteminder uses. There's different patterns for Oracle and then IBM as well. But the same idea applies just as equally to all of that. So now let's talk about how did this get accomplished. Here we have the Maverics Cloud UI. And so here we have in our Learning Center a simple, easy step-by-step direction on how you can build this exact infrastructure, deploy it in your laptop, or if you want to set up a purpose-built servers for the orchestrator, really easy to do. Just follow these steps. You have an out-of-the-box recipe that you can create and be powerful within a minute or two. Hope this helps.